Hey everyone, Connie Douglas here. Welcome to Thursday at noon and lunch break where we celebrate easy crafting. So my name is Connie Douglas. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, and you can find me at greatstampingwithconnie.com or Great Stamping with Connie for Facebook and Instagram. Put in Great Stamping with Connie. You'll find me. That's the name of everything. My YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. That's where I am. So hopefully you have a few minutes to join me for some crafting, either watching or maybe you're going to craft along doing something that you're working on. But anyway, Hope you like what I have planned for you today. I am just going to get this other device set up so that I can see who's joining me. If you are coming in now, just say hello. Let me know that you're here. Tell me where you're from. Hello, Lorna. Good afternoon. Yes, it is just afternoon, but it is afternoon, isn't it? So welcome. And if you are watching the replay, let me know that you're here or there or that you were watching it. So today I have some cards for you. Well, I have one card ready, but this is not my original design. So many of the cards that we make are not our original design. They are something that we saw online or a variation of something that we saw. It's something that was shared by some other demonstrators or just other crafters. So many people are so creative and so many people have good ideas, and sometimes it's just a little kickstart to inspire you in your crafting. So hopefully that's what I will do for you today. So, oh, guess I have to flip the camera down, don't I? Alrighty, let's do that. Just a moment, I'm just gonna flip this down so hopefully nobody gets too dizzy here. Come on. It's not, there we go. Now it's flipping, and now I have to get all these cords. The cords were doing some funky things. So, oh, I don't think that flipped, did it? There we go. I think it did flip, and then it flipped back because, you know, I probably touched something, didn't I? Anyway, okay, I think we are in. We need to come down a little bit or up a little bit. The card has to go up a little bit, doesn't it? Who knows? Okay, I'm going to put this right up here because I think that is now somewhere that you can see it. So, here is the card. This was a card that I saw, or similar to a card that I saw from June Dunn, who is a demonstrator. She used different colors and things, but she did use this stamp set, which is Positive Thoughts, and it is one that is retiring, and unfortunately it is no longer available. So I had made this card a little while ago, and the stamp set was still available, but I'm not going to use it today because, as I say, it is no longer available. But it's just black stamping, black ink stamping. But because you do second and third generation, you get all these different, tones of black and gray and everything. And I just thought it was very, very cool. So, hopefully I have everything I need for this because I have surrounded my stuff with all sorts of supplies. And I'm sort of looking now, realizing that one of them, I think, yep, it's on the back table. I try to be so organized, but, you know, it's a kind of sort of organized. Okay, I am going to set that to the side and pull in some of the papers that I need as soon as I, as soon as I find where I put them. So these are a little bit not standard sizing, I suppose. They are 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So you could change that. You could make it, let's see, 3 and 7/8, I said, right? So it would be, oh my gosh. Okay, my brain is a little bit mushy because I'm working on putting together all my paper shares. And so there's lots of calculations, and you got to make sure you get them all, and you record the numbers and how many you can get out of each one, and then you do the math and adding it up and dividing it. And anyway, I was doing that, so my brain has been exercised this morning. But anyway, I wanted a fairly wide border on here. And so I cut these a little bit different, but I'm just looking at this now, realizing that my colored cardstock that I have cut for the cards that I'm going to make, I didn't cut the narrow border. I cut a standard border. So the next cards are going to be what the next cards are. We'll just see when we get one finished, won't we? But these are 3 and 7/8, or 4 and 7/8 by 3 and 5/8 pieces of cardstock. And it doesn't really matter exactly what your size is. It can be anything as long as it fits on your card base. So, okay, so this stamp that I'm going to start with, I have all sorts of stamps that I've pulled out for different bits of this card. But this one is from the Nature's Harvest stamp set. So there are stamps and dies for this, but we're just going to use this one stamp for today. So that is that one. And I am using Memento Black Ink. It's an awesome black, and it's easy to clean. It's not like Stays On. That is more difficult to clean. So when I have a large stamp like this, and often when I'm using my black, don't ask me why, but I tend to take my ink to the stamp as opposed to my stamp to the ink. It's just how I do it. So, you can do it whichever way works for you. No right or wrong. But I'm going to get it nice and inky because we are going to stamp it multiple times without re-inking. Okay, and that's your 2nd and 3rd generation stamping that this is all about. So I'm going to put the first one on this card. I'm going to put it kind of close to the top and sort of centered. And I'm just giving a nice firm press down, and then I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to tilt it to the side, drop it down ever so slightly, and I'm going to stamp again. And then I'm going to do it a 3rd time, so that I have 2nd and 3rd generation stamping. And on the 3rd one, you want to give a nice firm press. You want to hold it for a moment so that the ink can absorb into your paper a little bit, because there wouldn't be a whole lot of ink on there, as you will see, because it's getting, it's fading. But the image is absolutely there. And so we have, dark and medium and light. So there we go. Didn't get my stems lined up all that well on there, but it will work. I have also pulled in these little dots, and there are a number of stamp sets that have little dot stamps or little accent things, little X's or little hearts or little dashes or little dots, whatever. And I'm going to add some of them as I did in this card, just to fill in a little bit, add a little extra interest. This particular one is from Forever Fern. Excuse me. There is also one in a stamp set that starts with a letter that comes alphabetically after Forever. What was that one? Oh dear, isn't that terrible? I was just looking at, the Friends Are Like Seashells. That has some little dots. And there was a couple of others that I owned that I looked at, but I grabbed this one. So if you have something in your stash that has little dots and you want to do this, use that one. Again, no right or wrong. So I am going to do, multiple stamping here again, and I'm going to sort of alternate where I put my 2nd or 3rd stamping, just so it's sort of spread out. I think maybe one more up here. And I've just kind of stamped right over the sunflowers. Seems to work. I didn't worry about the middle too much because we are going to put something over top of that. But that just adds a little bit of interest around things, I think. I had put the sentiment at the bottom of this, but this is quite a long stamp, so I knew there wouldn't really be as much room. So I pulled out a sentiment stamp to put in the heart rather than another image. And this one is from the Here Together stamp set. Every act of kindness changes the world. And that's a sentiment that I love and that I totally believe. So I like to share that on cards. I'm just going to set this to the side for a moment. And I'm going to stamp this in a color, just on a scrap of white, because I am going to punch. These are all going to have basically the same layout, so I'm going to use the heart for all of them. And let's see, I pulled out a couple of different colors. I did not pull out any ink to go with them. So, again, one moment. Gosh. So I have that and Pacific Point. Okay, so I was going to do this with Pacific Point. Was crafting with one of the women on my team last night, and she was talking about doing some videos, and she said, you know, I'd really like to do some videos and share them with people, but half the video would be me looking for stuff. And I said, well, you want to kind of gather stuff up before you start. Yeah, look at me. Apparently I didn't follow my own advice. I always, if I have it all in a box, I seem to go through. It's almost like as I put it into a box, I go through this mental checklist, and I tend to get everything. But I only started to gather these things this morning because there was a lot of other crafting going on the last couple days, and so I hadn't put this into a box. So I just put it on, on my table here beside me where I was going to be working, and somehow the mental checklist doesn't kick in when I do that. Don't ask me why. Don't look for a logical explanation. It's just what I have sort of observed in my wild and crazy crafting. But anyway, thankfully, for the most part, things are close by. So a little bit further if I have to go get cardstock, and a little bit further if I have to get designer series paper, or if I'm doing die cutting and I haven't remembered to bring that stuff up. But we're good this time. So, a piece of Pacific Point cardstock, and that was Pacific Point ink. So these heart punches that I'm using, they come as a 2-pack, and they are available in the annual catalog. So they don't have to be just for Valentine's Day. I use them a lot at Valentine's Day, but they are awesome just for, something like this where you're talking about kindness. And I think is there one? Oh, yes, look. I don't know whether this stamp would fit, but love changes everything. I mean, that would be perfect in a heart stamp. So, anyway, okay, I am going to start to assemble this. So I'm just putting my heart, my white heart, flat on my colored cardstock heart, and then I will pop it up with dimensionals on here. And I have a piece of Pacific Point cardstock. This is standard, although I should have perhaps cut it a little bit larger, but this is 4 by 5 1/4. So this border is, actually it is slightly larger than standard, but not quite as large as what the Granny Apple one was, but it'll be fine. So we'll get this onto it. And because it's a wider border, I don't need to worry about using liquid glue. I could use liquid glue. It always works. But because the border is a little bit wider, there's a little bit more for your eye to focus on, and less chance of it being crooked. Doesn't mean it won't be crooked. Doesn't mean I won't get out the dental floss and pull this off. But the eyeball is usually pretty good at getting it on there and not having to have that extra little moment of wiggle room time. So then I was thinking, I was pulling out a whole bunch of white card bases for these, and then I sort of glanced at this one and realized I had a black card base. So I don't know whether I want to put these onto a white card base or a black card base. So I brought both. Okay, see, I was organized there. I have enough white card bases and enough black card bases for everything I'm planning to do today. So, you know, I got one thing right. I got a few things right, but I got this one right. I just need to decide which way to go, because it's the black ink and it's very sort of tone on tone. That is not well scored. But let's see if we can fix it. If we can't fix it, I will just trim it. I think this may fix it. So while I did remember to bring the black cardstock, it was a little bit of a last minute thought, because I only noticed just about when I was ready to go on that I had black on this one. Okay, so there it is on the black, and this would be on here. So that really kind of pops with the black. It sounds funny, but the black so often makes things pop. But the white, I do like the white, but I think the black just gives it a little bit more definition. Any thoughts, Lorna? You're really good at this stuff, picking the right colors and the right things. Did I hold that all close enough? Could you see that? Okay. I don't have the monitor up, so there's a delay on everything I'm showing, but there's the white, and there's the black. Yeah, the black just, it really, I think I'm going to go with black. Okay, so we'll set the white card base aside. It will get used. Oh boy, I use a lot of white card bases. Black. Okay, see, if Lorna says black, then it should be black, because she's really good at these kinds of things. Okay, I will use the black. There we go. So there we go. And as I said, I will pop this up with dimensionals. I put a little bit of the silver mesh ribbon behind this one, but there's a lot going on. This is fairly subtle, but I was thinking that I wouldn't put that on these cards. So I don't have it here. So guess what? I'm not going to change my mind now. Yes, it does pop, doesn't it? Something about black. I find when you, even if you don't have, a lot of black in your card the way we do with the stamping here, if you border something with black, one of your layers, it just, it does really pop. It makes a big difference in the look. And I think I'm going to do this I'm going to go low, because then it's not in the middle of the card, and I don't have to worry about getting it right in the middle. Okay, and all of my gems are down a couple layers, so I'm just going to set that to the side, and we will embellish that after, because I want to show you, I have two others that I was thinking of doing. So, have two other stamps out. One is from the Painted Poppies. This is from Painted Poppies, and I'm not certain how well this will work. It's not a large stamp, and it's not quite as long as some of them, but I think it will work. We are going to test it out. If I can get my ink pad to slide here. What's up with this? It seems a little stuck. Has it popped up? What's it done? Oh, there, it's just a little stiff. There we go. Okay, so same thing again. Oh, no, not same thing again. I don't want to do Gorgeous Grape, although I could. Oh, that could be interesting. Generational stamping with the color. Oh, see, this is how creating happens. You know, we were doing black on white, and then I just happened to open the Gorgeous Grape ink, and I, almost used it. Probably would have worked just fine. It would have been different, but it would have been fine. And that's, I am going to try that now. So I'll have to do that. I'll do that after, though, because I don't have everything I need here for that, I don't think. So I'm going to go right about here with the first one, and then I'm going to come over and down, and over and down from my main one. And you could do this more than the 3 times. You could ink it again if you wanted. I haven't ever tried that, so I'm not going to jump into that right now. But I think what I will do is put, I think I'm going to put Thinking of You on the bottom here, because I have more space again. I maybe should have been just a little bit higher, but I think this will be okay. Maybe, no, I'm going to do this now. I was going to say maybe I should put some dots in first so I know, but we're just going to, we're just going to do it. I'm going to put this right down here, and then I'll just put the dots around it. So I do like those splatters. Why does my U look like it's tilting? Do I have it mounted? Because it's maybe a little bit narrow. Anyway, okay, so there's that, and I'm going to bring these guys back in, and see, that's how you get rid of this little bit of black ink there that I'm not really sure what it is, but I'm just going to stamp, and then you won't even notice it. And I don't know whether I want anything really dark, so I'm going to just stamp this off. Sorry, I have a piece of scrap paper over here, and then it won't. That's a lot of dots, maybe too many, but it is what it is. I get a little carried away, and then I think it looks unbalanced, and then I think I need to add more, and then the next thing you know, I've sort of got too many, but anyway, it is what it is. So now, because I wasn't really thinking about that, now I need a little something to put into the heart. So, what do I have sitting right here? So in the Painted Poppies stamp set, I do have a poppy. I guess I could put just a single poppy into the heart. I think it will fit. Let's just see. A single poppy would fit. That might work. We'll give it a go. If it looks ridiculous, I just won't attach it. And I was going to do this one in the Gorgeous Grape, so now I do have to open this guy again. There we go. Okay, slid easier that time. Okay. So I think that heart would have fit, but I'm just going to do it sideways so that I know I have room for my punch. There we go. I've got our poppy flower. I grew, somebody gave me some poppy seeds, and I grew poppies one year in my garden, and they were lovely, but I don't know whether you've ever grown poppies or not. Their leaves kind of look like a prickly weed. So they do self-seed. So they will come up next year and you will have lovely poppies again. Unless you don't specifically remember that you planted poppies and you pull them all out because you think they're weeds. Whoopsie. Yeah. So, I had poppies for 1 year. Okay. So I was almost organized. I did bring Gorgeous Grape for the background, but I forgot to bring an extra piece to punch the heart. But guess what? Here's what you can do. You can do this all the time. You don't have to do it when you forget your paper. I am going to punch my heart out of the middle. I'm pretty sure that my paper, as long as you can get your punch in far enough that your white will cover it, no one will ever know. I'm pretty sure that I can. I sure hope I can. Otherwise, I can't put this card together. No, see? We're fine. And then when we mount that on our card base, no one will ever know that we took a heart out before we did that. So certainly if you are die cutting anything, you can do that. You can, because you can place your die wherever you want. So you can get shapes out of your background layer, and then you use less cardstock. Look, I stuck that down a little too quickly. There we go. Okay. The only thing you need to be careful of is don't put your tape runner through the part that's going to be open, because unless you are sticking it right down onto your card base, you will end up sticking your card to your work paper or your work desk or wherever you happen to be. So just remember that you don't want to run through the middle when you're doing this. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If you hit all the corners, you don't really need to go through the middle on a greeting card that's just sitting. If it's something that you're going to move a lot or play with in some way, you want a heavier adhesive or more adhesive. And if it's 3D, you want to use tear and tape or something that is absolutely stronger. But for the most part, for a card, if you just hit your corners, all your edges, you will be fine. It will stay stuck because the Stampin' Seal is good stuff. So there we go. But see, habits, eh? Just what I do sometimes. But that's okay. So I didn't even look at what the white might look like on here. I'm just going to assume that the black card base is the way to go. See, this one I was thinking I would put on, and I know I haven't embellished the others yet, but I was thinking I would put on, I maybe still could, put on, this is the Gorgeous Grape sheer ribbon, and it is retiring in May, so I thought I would show it a little bit of love before it goes away. And that was part of the reason. Partly I figured Gorgeous Grape would look good for this card, but I also thought, oh, if I do Gorgeous Grape, then I can use this ribbon. What have we got here, Lorna? You've not... Oh, you haven't seen the second and third generation stamping? Oh my gosh. We used to call it, well, we called it stamping off, which is, commonly referred to if you just stamp on scrap paper and then stamp on your cardstock. But I used to call it that. That's how we used to refer to it, when you did it on your card as well. But a lot of people now call it second and third generation, which is what it is. It's second and third time stamping without inking in between. So it is a different look. It is an awesome way to get, different colors out of one ink pad. If you do it with a colored ink, I should have done it with the Gorgeous Grape. Maybe I'll pull out a scrap and I will show you. If you do it with a colored ink, I mean, this is black and gray, It's not entirely exciting, but it's a nice look. I like the look of it. Maybe this way. Not sure. I was thinking, because I knew this was a shorter stamp, I was thinking I could put this down at the bottom, but then I put my sentiment down there. Maybe this way. Maybe no bow. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe I could put it on the edge here. Okay. I'm going to stick it on the edge, and I'm going to do it now so that I know where I want to put my heart, because I don't want my bow over, I don't want it over the heart. I don't want it over my sentiment. So let's be organized and do that. Okay. Ooh, almost 12:30. Oh my goodness. I had a little more planned today than usual, I guess. So this is going a little, nope. I need it turned more, don't I? I should set this down here, and then I can see that I kind of want this here. Is that? There we go. Hello, Vera. Oh, I'm so glad you like them. See, now I probably should have had that flower up a little bit higher if I was going to put the bow on. And okay, this is maybe not, you know how you have an idea and then sometimes it doesn't exactly go the way you're thinking it might. But you know what? At the end of the day, so many times it works out just fine. So I'm thinking that this is going to be okay when it's done, but I should try and get it in the center, shouldn't I? Center this way, which is going to kind of put it over there. So, okay, it's going down here. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, it works. I don't know that I love it, but it works. This guy needs gems. We're going to go back and put some gems on him. And so maybe I will abandon. I did have one more. I had this one. Oh, maybe I'll try this with the colored ink. Okay. So this is from the Blessings of Home stamp set, which I also have over here. Gosh, I have so many stamp sets sitting here today. So Blessings of Home, a little bit different. And I was thinking I would use pumpkin pie, because, you know, sometimes I open my drawer and it's like, oh, what ink have I not shown any love to, or what cardstock have I not shown any love to lately? And today it was pumpkin pie. It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't used that in quite a while. I tend to use it around Halloween. I use it for snowmen noses at Christmas. And I don't, you know, it depends what colors are in our designer series paper, right? So if you're, you know, some of our designer series paper, when it has pumpkin pie in it, I would use a lot more. But pale papaya has been sort of the color of choice lately. You know, this is not very solid, so you're not going to see this as well as, you know, some of these others that are a little more intense. But we're going to do it anyway. We'll do it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so there's one, and the second is very light. Hopefully I have enough ink on here to get a third stamp. I didn't actually didn't check the ink in my pumpkin pie stamp, and since I haven't used it for quite a while, it may not be as juicy. Oh, see, now that's probably a little too light for my taste. Yeah, I don't think I want to use that one. I think I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go back to the black. But what I will show you, I'll just grab this. Where'd my black go? Okay. Okay. So here's a little different double-sided cardstock. Yes, it's that wonderful double-sided cardstock that I use. Sorry, I'm looking for my chamois to clean this before. I could just put the black over top of the orange. It wouldn't likely be a problem on my black ink pad, but you know, that just seems like a bad habit to get into. It's like, oh, I'm using a darker ink, I'll just put that over top. And I won't do what Shelley Gardner did. Shelley is the co-founder of Stampin' Up, and she was the CEO. Her daughter Sarah is now the CEO, but Shelley and her sister started the company way back when, and she was doing a demo at one of our conferences, and did she spit on it, or she licked it or something? I didn't actually see it, and I don't think I've ever gone back to look at the video, but anyway, everybody was, you know, that saw it was cracking up, and then Sarah's like, did you just lick that? And I was like, well, I forget exactly why now, but anyway, it was one of those funny moments, so, but I have cleaned it, so we're all good. Oh no, see, even this one seems to be very light. Yeah, I didn't get my ink as inky, or maybe this stamp is just not one that holds the ink. Sometimes I find some stamps, you know, you get a better second and third generation stamping. It just seems a little more intense. It seems to hold the ink somehow. That is also very light, isn't it? Maybe because it's very fine lines in there. Well, I think I'm still going to use it. We'll use that one, and I'm going to get this finished off with the pumpkin pie so I can show you these cards. This, you know, if you did a bunch of these with, you know, you could use different colors, but maybe use the same stamp set. It would make just a lovely little gift for someone, a little birthday gift or a hostess gift or something. You know, you could do a little box to put them in. Oh, the little dots. Oh, Lorna. Thank you. Yes. Maybe that's what we needed on the orange. Maybe that would have made a difference too, eh? But I have this stamp I have not cleaned. See how much the dots do add, though? It does make a difference. And now I can put these dark dots right here, and then you will never know that the flower stamp was a little bit less intense. Look at that, eh? There, I'm going to stop there because I think, oh, how about one more up here? There we go. Just a little bit. Just a little dots. Yes, it does make a difference, though, doesn't it? It just adds to it. I put these up a little high, so I could have wrapped. Perfect. Okay. Good. Where'd my adhesive go? Oh, I didn't do... See, I'm working out of order because now I'm trying to hurry with this one. Anyway, I didn't do my sentiment on the white heart yet. I got all distracted by trying the orange. Okay, I think I'm going to use the same sentiment. Every act of kindness changes the world, because I just think that is beautiful. And bring in my white paper. Let's move this out of the way. Not likely to stamp on it, but I didn't want to go over the ridges either, because then you would get funny lines in your stamping. So need a flat surface to be stamping on. Look at that. That's you know, I like pumpkin pie. I don't know why it's not on my radar to use a little bit more often, but anyway, it's a beautiful orange. It's, you know, sort of your very standard orange ink, but it's perfect Halloween orange, and perfect. It's carrot orange, a perfect carrot nose for your snowman out in winter. But it's just a really pretty orange as well. So here's today's interesting little tidbit. Apparently, and I learned this a long time ago, and because orange in clothing is not something I gravitate to, but apparently orange is the best color for going with every single skin tone. I don't remember. I think I probably read that in Glamour magazine as a teenager or something. But and as I say, it's not a color I gravitate to. But I did have a top in like a pumpkin pie orange color, and it didn't matter. You know, every time I wore that, people would comment on how lovely it looked, and oh, I love your top. And it's like, really? It's orange. But you know, I always got comments on that. So it's like, well, gosh, maybe those fashion people that tell you what to wear and, you know, how to mix and match colors and put things together that work for your skin tone or whatever, maybe they know a thing or two. So, but I don't think I have any orange in my wardrobe right now. Although I think I have a pale peach, but not anything in an orange. Do we want this up a little bit? Even though I'm not quite centered, I think I want to see some of the ink out the bottom. Otherwise, it looks a little bit chopped off the way my dots and things go. So I'm just going to move that up a little bit to there. I could have put something down here. Nope, I put it there. Never mind. It's going to be like that. There we go. Okay. So now we do need a few gems though. Hello. So here's what I pulled out, knowing I was going to use blue and orange. These are the holiday rhinestones, and these are also retiring at the beginning of May. But I still have some, so I am going to use them right now. And these are actually, they are Night of Navy, but they will go fine with this. Do I want to spread these out a little bit? There we go. And these are actually pumpkin pie. And look, I've used a whole bunch of them because I did the celebration. I put them on a whole whack of cards, and so I used a lot of them in one fell swoop. But that's okay. I think I might still have two different sizes here. Maybe we'll do this, and this actually will distract your eye from the fact that it's maybe not quite centered, perhaps. I'm going to pretend that it will. So there we go. We got a ribbon on there. I don't think we need any other gems on that. We got a little silver ribbon there and a clear rhinestone. So there we go. There are today's cards. Shall I attempt to flip us back? Let me just grab us. Here we go. You won't be able to see these in a minute. Maybe I'll just leave these here for today. We'll stop there. And I will say thank you so much for joining me. Gosh, we went a little longer today. Tell the boss it's my fault you're late getting back to work. Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like these cards, and do try generational stamping. It's a really neat way to get different shades of ink and different colors from one ink pad, whether it's black and white or a color. So it's worth it. Okay, well, I'm glad you think so, Lorna. Thanks again for being here, everyone. Have an awesome afternoon, and we will see you all soon. Bye for now.